I'm concerned about Coventry City in the upcoming EFL Championship season. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the EFL Championship season. I wanted to get on here today, just freestyle in front of the camera and talk about Coventry City. Yesterday, they played a behind closed doors match, friendly against Brighton, where they lost 2-0. As we say whenever our teams lose in preseason, I'm not too bothered about the result, which I genuinely am not, but there are a couple things that I've been feeling and I've talked about before, which were just solidified when I went back and watched the highlights. So I just wanted to go through the highlights and talk about a few things that I'm feeling because I am concerned going into the upcoming season. I'm going to whack the green screen up behind me in a few minutes and pull up FootMob, SofaScore, just talk through a couple things. But first, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jonah Fatcat. I make EFL Championship content and Premier League content. If you are a fan of those leagues, sub to the channel. It helps me grow my channel. I also post on TikTok and Twitter. And leave a like on the video if you appreciate what we talk about today, as it helps boost the algorithm and eventually will allow me to grow my channel into bringing the money. Not that I care about that, but anyways, let's go. And if you see me looking over this way, I do apologize. I'm watching the Women's Euros final, 10th minute, 0-0. So before we get into the highlights from the match yesterday, I just want to talk through a few statistics that I pulled up from last season. There's a lot going on here. Don't worry about anything except for the yellow highlighted column. And that's just goals per 90. So it's literally just the amount of goals that you just scored this season divided by 46. So we can see Coventry City at 1.37, which is 4th in the league. Very close to where they finished in the table. They ended up finishing in 5th. So you'd think you'd go to yourself, there probably weren't any issues with their attack this past season, but I sort of disagree in a respectful manner. So let's take it over to the next one. The next stat we're going to look at is crosses. How many times did they cross the ball? They crossed the ball 1,014 times last season, which is absolutely ridiculous. They're the only team to hit the 4-figure mark. And then the teams below them are Portsmouth, Swansea, Luton, Sheffield Wednesday. Then you got Leeds down at 926. So the other teams that are around them are, not exactly the best people to be compared to. Then you've got Leeds down there, but Leeds were just an anomaly last season, scoring over 90 goals. I sort of look at the amount of times that they cross as good in the sense that you're scoring goals, but also bad because you become very one-dimensional in your attack. Just to further back up that stat, crosses into the penalty area, so completed crosses into the 18-yard box, not including set pieces. They were also number 1 with 133. Swansea, Hull, Derby, Wednesday, Brom, right behind them. West Brom. I can't misname any club or else the comments will absolutely fry me, so I just have to clarify that. So again, not the best company to be around, not the worst. It's not really a functional business model. If you open a fast food chain and you only sell burgers and you don't sell fries, probably not going to get too far unless you got Five Guys level burger. Then you might be okay. But this isn't anything to do with crosses, but successful take-ons. So you figure you want them somewhere in the top 5. Let's see. Leeds was at the front with 72. And just to refresh your successful take on that leads to a shot attempt. A guy taking on a defender, creating space himself, whacking a shot in. Where are we? Oh, we are all the way down at 41. So what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Oh, our strikers are shite. I don't think that is true. Is Haji Wright lazy? Yes, at times. Does Ellis Sims have ice skates on his feet? Yes, at times. Does Brandon Thomas Asante look like he doesn't know what team he plays for at times? Yes. But they aren't getting the proper service that they need to be the lethal strikers that they have potential to be. You've seen all 3 of those guys have really good seasons. You've seen 2 of them score 20 goals in the Prem before, in the Championship. Sorry. Again, I have to correct myself. BTA scored 11 goals with West Brom before he transferred to Coventry City. So still a respectable season. And now listen, before we go into the highlights, I just want to show, I've already talked about this in previous videos. If you haven't seen my 2 back-to-back Coventry City videos from 2 weeks ago, go watch them. Jack Radoni's heat map right here. He is a half winger. He always finds himself in these winger spaces, and then he quickly makes his way back into the box, which is why he's able to score so many headers. And he's a great passer, which is why he's able to get so many assists. Other midfielder, you got Victor Torp. He is more of a box-to-box guy. You're going to find him everywhere. He, who I've said before, is a key to next season if he can help us play the ball through the middle of the pitch more, because clearly when Radoni's on the ball's going down the wing to Sakamoto, to Mason Clark, to Haji Wright when Mason Clark is not in, and they are left to, take on a defender and then try to put the ball in the box because they don't really have many other options. The last midfielder who I think is probably going to be starting, Matt Grimes, he clearly needs to sit back because, he needs to kind of act as a third center back at times, drop in as a center half. The lack of play through the middle is why we're forced to cross the ball so much. Now let's go over to the highlights. Let's just look through a couple things and just sort of work through it together. I'm not exactly sure what I want to talk about, but I think I have the premise of it. I'm just switching tabs real quick. I want to just show you guys. That is Fatcat of Jonah Fatcat FC just booling on top of the PC. Probably not healthy for him. I'm going to get him down. Now, while I'm transitioning because my PC is on life support, literally with double pneumonia in both lungs, amputated limbs. Oh, cat goes down. I just want to quickly talk about the criticism that the strikers are getting this offseason. Specifically, Haji Wright. I've gotten into a few scraps on Twitter, but I'm trying to stay as respectful as possible. I just feel like the standard that people hold him to is just so unrealistic, because he's coming in for a striker that just sold for £70 million to Arsenal. He's had 2 very good seasons. Last season was riddled with injury, but people are so quick to get on him because it looks like he's a lazy player when he's not on the ball. But then are saying things like, oh, let's give Sims a chance up top. Let's give Thomas Asante a chance up top. Did you see how they performed last season? Why would you be so quick to get on a guy who bagged 12 goals in the league? He missed 4 months of the season and say, oh, let's give a chance to someone who played 40 matches last season and scored 6 goals. What is the logic behind that? I feel like people are so quick to snap on him. And it's like, I figured it would calm down after the playoff because people were mad that he missed that header at the end of the game. You know, he didn't do too much in those 2 matches, but that was one of the most well-executed low blocks we've seen all season by any team. They did the same thing in the next match against Sheffield United. It worked. He's bagging 20 this year. Anyways. So obviously the first clip that we're seeing is Jay Da Silva crossing a ball in. Another cross, Mason Clark. Good job by Sakamoto getting up there. I hope his trainer this offseason said, listen, man, we're hitting calf raises every single day. You need to get your jumping up. That's your only chance of getting 10-plus goals this year. I mean, you can genuinely tell the players are not playing at 100% speed. Don't really care too much about it. Let's see. What could have been done differently? I mean, Sheaf probably could have taken an extra step. But again, that's just not going full strength. I'm not bothered by it. Shocking play out of the back as per usual. You see, actually, right there, Jay did turn it on. He did turn it on 100% effort. Obviously, who was there to save the day? That was a goal. King Grimes. And shout out him. He got his old buddy back from Swansea. It's a cute little clip of them. It's actually the most emotion I've seen Grimes show in, you know, my 6 months or whatever it is of supporting Coventry. All right, let's see. We already started talking. Let's just see this clip. What can I say? Again, Grimes with a beautiful ball. I actually like that aggressiveness from Asante right there. He knew as soon as he had that ball, he was taking a touch and shooting it. That's the type of aggression we need to see up front. Looked like they were actually running a 2-striker formation, which was very interesting. People say that Sims plays best with a 2-striker formation. That's actually the first time I've ever seen them run that, so that's very interesting. Here we go. Bidwell down the wing to Sims. What is Sims gonna do? He didn't have anywhere to go. Redoni out to the wing. The definition of insanity. You know, not gonna say it myself. Beautiful. Victor? Look at Torp getting in the box. I know Doug King isn't a lone guy, but he was forced. His hand was absolutely forced into bringing in another keeper right here. What, did the keeper have it in his hands and he lost it? Come on, man. Cannot deflect that into a danger area like that. I mean, they didn't show us much there. That was really just like a blue ball of a highlight clip. But I find it ironic that, you know, the one issue that I have going into the season, offensively, we already spoke about how I think we need a center back and a center mid, was shown in that clip and portrayed perfectly because every single attack we had was down the wing. There were no through balls. There was no hold-up play in the middle. The closest we got was a through ball to Sims where he stood there in the box with 2 defenders around him, put his hands up in the air because he didn't know what to do, and then just passed it back. I don't know, man. It's a little scary, the lack of goal scoring that has been done in the preseason, but I'm not out here pressing the panic button or anything. I'm just saying it's my analysis, what I see, and what I could see potentially being an issue in the season. As you know, we're less than 2 weeks away. I need my GOAT, my King Haji right back. That's just my breakdown and like something that I want to get on the internet so that I can hear what people have to say to that. If people agree, if people disagree. So please, down in the comments, let me know what you think. If you're going to comment or if you made it this far, just drop a like. And if you aren't subbed, real quick, just check. If you're not subbed, subscribe to the channel. Putting out 3-4 videos a week. And hopefully by now you'll see my announcement of streams coming this season for Coventry City matches. So yeah, that's all. Thank you and peace.